I was thinking today, what if Spider-Man and Superman actually met? I mean, these are two of the most iconic superheroes ever. But would they actually get along? And the more that I thought about it, the more it just clicked. They would totally hit it off. Like, they're so similar in many ways. I think they would actively be best friends. So let's dive into why I personally think Spider Man and Superman would absolutely love each other. And this might just be my new favorite kind of what if scenario. So, all right, first, let's go into the obvious responsibility. We've got Peter and his whole thing about with great power comes great responsibility mantra. And Superman is all about using his powers to protect people. Neither of them does this for fame nor glory, but they're both doing it because they feel like they have to protect people. And honestly, that's not just something that like all superheroes really get. Imagine these two patrolling together, both just knowing that the other would do anything to help keep these people safe. And I'd bet the second that they saw the dedication in each other, they'd both have a silent, oh yeah, you're the real kind of hero moment. A friendship would be easily solidified right there and then. These two characters are characters that really just know the exact meaning of responsibility, know the meaning of loss, and know the meaning of how to actively snuff out between people that are just doing this for their own personal whatever, or actually the people that want to actually truly help people. And now, obviously, another thing that these both have a very good in common would be their humble beginnings. Obviously, not talking about Krypton, because both of these guys, both of these characters come from fairly humble background. Peter's a kid from Queens, and Clark grew up in a tiny farming town in Kansas. Both of them had these like down to earth families that taught them the basics: be kind, help others, and stay humble. Even with all of their insane powers that obviously Peter got later in life, they're still super relatable. And you still know that they're the kind of every person, like the kind of person most people want to be. And you can't just picture, honestly, I can just picture them hanging out, swapping stories about where they grew up, like Peter talking about Aunt May's wisdom and Clark sharing stories about his dad's life lessons. It would just really be a family driven, like a very cool, cold, and like connecting moment between them. I feel like they'd just be laughing and regularly getting to where each other's like actually come from, and that small town vibe would meet this city kid energy would just honestly would be so absolutely hilarious. Another huge thing that they both share is compassion. Superman and Spider-Man both go out of their way to see the good in people, even if it's a villain on the other side. Spidey is always cutting some kind of slack to his low level criminals, and Superman has definitely spared some villains because he believes that they can change. The compassion that's shared between some villains is really honestly wholesome, honest, like in any specific thing. And that compassion streak that they both have is not something that every hero has. It would be something that they'd immediately honestly respect in each other. Most heroes kind of have a very specific way of treating their villains, and most of them don't even actively see them as being redeemable. We have a lot of villains that they're just kind of like, the heroes are just like, this is my villain, he's my active enemy, and this is exactly what he is. Spider-Man and Superman know that, yeah, these guys are enemies, but specifically on somebody like Spider-Man's end, most of his villains are people that were created out of bad circumstances or just bad technology, or just like scientists that have gone to a different path. He understands them. And that's something that I honestly feel would be very easily kind of understood between Clark and Peter in any specific way. The fact that they both understand that the compassion you kind of need to actually be a hero. It's something, as I said, would immediately gain respect in both of each other. They're the type that would be sharing ideas about how to make their villains turn a new leaf instead of just fighting them off. Imagining like a very heart to heart moment that they would have over that. They totally also bond over the double life thing. You've got Peter who's trying to be Spider-Man while holding down school, jobs, friendships, and then Clark who's doing Superman while still being a mild-mannered reporter. I can just see them laughing over how hard it is to keep friends and explain why they're always just kind of, inconveniently going missing. And they both honestly have a big situation and be feeling torn between these two worlds that they actually have to live in, always trying to do right by the ones that they love while also saving the day. It would be a very big kind of situation like that. And honestly, one of the other things that would be very kind of close knitting thing between them is because the fact that they both work in the media field. Peter is a photographer, and Superman's best friend in active world is Jimmy Olsen, one of the most well-known photographers in the entirety of the world. Peter would literally just be someone that Superman could look to and see just someone else almost exactly like James Olsen, and almost immediately have that connection also right there. It's just someone that he would be easily able to kind of have an immediate connection with due to the fact that he reminds him already of one of his closest friends. But besides that fact, one of the big things that they also both share would be loss. Both of these guys carry around some major pain with them. Peter lost Uncle Ben, Gwen Stacy, and a ton of close friends, while Superman quite literally lost his entire planet and his own father before he even was able to do actively anything about it. Anytime that we've seen Superman's backstory, we always see him kind of being forced with trying to save his own father, but not being able to because it's something that even he can't save against that. It's something that he can't even do anything against. And it's just something about him kind of learning that even he has limitations. And that's something that I honestly would instantly see bonding them together because they both understand the kind of pain that you can never truly get over. I could see them talking about the people that they've lost and feeling a deep connection over it. And instead of them bringing them down, it would honestly push them deeper, closer to each other and kind of keep them going. Just finding a way to keep honoring the memories of the people that they've lost. And it would just be a very good way to kind of support, honestly be each other's support system in a way. And obviously, these two are basically the walking symbols of hope in each of their worlds. Superman is the guy that everybody looks up to. He is the literal beacon of light, while Spider-Man, on the other hand, is more like the underdog. And he's been out fighting every day for people who kind of know about him, and he's basically the person that is everyone's neighborhood Spider-Man. He is the symbol of hope and symbol of light to his neighborhood, the symbol of light to the people that he's always protecting because he's the guy that's always there no matter what. Avengers are out of the off-world, Spider-Man's still there. He's the person that they kind of know and everyone knows in their world to rely on. They're both relatable, but just in two very different ways. Superman has the protection of the entire world because how powerful he is. He'll go off world and people will know that he's protecting people because he's just so strong that people kind of know that he will always be there to protect people, and he just has this immediate draw and immediate connection to everybody because they understand he's going to be here no matter what. While Spider-Man is the guy that is there no matter what. No matter whether he's beaten, bruised, broken, he always shows up and people know that they can count on him no matter what is going on in his life. No matter if it's the hardest point, Spider-Man is always there trying to help people. And yes, we have things like the black suit and all of these different versions of Spider-Man that can kind of be a little more darker, but he is always still trying to help people. And that's something that honestly would bring these two so much even closer together in honestly feeling that true drive of being the people that everybody else looks to. And another thing that I honestly feel that they would obviously commiserate over would be something that I've already talked about, the media. Superman's dealt with the people fear his powers questions and question his motives, and we obviously Spidey's got J. Jonah Jameson practically painting him as a public enemy every single day. Every single day, all Spidey hears is, he's a menace. He's public enemy number one. He's a villain. He's all of these things. They'd totally kind of get each other's frustration off of there. And while obviously Superman has gained this symbol of peace status, there are still so many people that question his motives and fear his powers. That's just something that you're going to have when you have that much power surrounding you. And I could really just picture them sitting somewhere joking about the fact that they really have to like deal with all of this flack despite risking their lives every single day. I bet Superman would be like, "You've really got it bad with Jonah. Try dealing with some entire like you think you've got it bad with Jonah. Try dealing with entire governments." And remember, he also has to deal with somebody like Lex Luthor, somebody who has literal power over so many other things because of the fact of, well, he's Lex freaking Luthor. And honestly, I honestly see a situation where Peter would probably just go like, "Yeah, but at least they don't have to call you a menace every day." And it would just be one of those like, "Yeah, I get you," like in all of those situations. And as I've already said, they have a very big connection with the media because of the fact that they both work in the media. Their entire business that they both do is almost always specifically directed in sort of some kind of media role, unless we have Peter doing something in tech based or where he creates something like Parker Industries or whatever, have it in the world. But it's one of those big situations where they kind of just have a lot of things that they could really just see together and actively have a lot in common. But obviously, let's be real, Superman would totally take on a big brother role to somebody like Peter. Superman's been around the block and he knows how to guide younger heroes. And obviously, while at this point Peter's a little older, if it was like more of an age gap relationship, he totally sees Peter's potential right off the bat and give him some advice here or there. Maybe tell him not to take everything so personal or give him some tips on handling the press. And on the flip side, Peter's whole underdog thing would remind Superman why they started doing this in the first place. It would be a friendship that they would both grow and really just kind of grow on each other. So there's like a lot of different ways to this too. Superman's like more like there's like differences between them specifically. Superman's more calm, controlled, and the Shining Knight type. Spidey is quick, witty, and doesn't mind getting a little scrappy. But instead of this clashing, I'd honestly see the appreciation between these two different, like these big differences. Superman would respect Peter's creative way of tackling problems, and Peter would be amazed by Superman's sheer power and composure. It'd be a classic opposites attract kind of relationship, the same way that we have between Superman and Batman, just obviously more on the closer end of like them being similar to each other instead of them just being complete and total opposites like we have with Clark and Bruce. And honestly, here's the best part. They'd make each other better. Superman's optimism and belief in the good of people would help Spidey stay hopeful. And even when things are truly looking rough, Peter's humor and resilience would really be brightened by the fact of having somebody like Superman there. This would definitely rub off on Superman also, and maybe make him even a little more relaxed, to the point that this duo would kind of lift each other's hopes and lift each other up, reminding each other why they fight the good fight. It would be a very, very close-knit relationship that I honestly would just see and love seeing a kind of version where these two kind of actively have any kind of relationship. But there you have it. That's why I think Superman and Spider-Man would be absolute buds if they ever met. They share the weight of their goals and responsibilities, bond over their backgrounds, and would really support each other in many, many different ways. And I do mean like so many different ways, but I mean, who really wouldn't want to see them team up? And if you guys don't, please just stop lying. But obviously, if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, share your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to, like, as I said, subscribe for more superhero just conversations like this and more like universal mashups. But obviously, until next time, see you guys in the next video. Peace.